Guys, don't worry, I'm here. Everything's gonna be okay. Yes. I just came home from work. I'm hella tired, but let me just get this out the way and then take my eyes straight to sleep. Oh my goodness, son. I got no energy right now. Anyway, what's happening, guys? I have, on a serious note, a UU battle, which has happened to be one of the best UU battles that I've had up to date. And my opponent, known as Mismagius, he's always on my Facebook page. He's gonna start things off with Mismagius, if I got that correct. And I'm gonna lead off with my bronze arm. So I'm thinking that he won't initially go for the taunt if he was packing taunt. So I would, go for the self rock. And then foolishly thinking that, okay, he didn't go for a taunt because he just went for the Will-O-Wisp. That's kind of a weird spread. I went for the Toxic instead of going for the Gyro Ball secondary, and it turns out he did have the taunt, so that just kind of cripples half of my Bronze Arm's moves. As opposed to switching out initially to go out to Krooko-Dile only to get burned by him predicting the switch and go for the Will-O-Wisp, I decided to stay in one turn, go for the Gyro Ball just to see what he would do. Maybe he could get up a substitute or something like that. That would be bad if I decide to switch out to Krooko-Dile and then he gets a substitute up, and then like if I foolishly decide to stay in with Krooko-Dile, while he has substitute and he revealed the fact that he has Will-O-Wisp only to get burned. I'm saying, like, well, that'd be kind of stupid. So I just stayed in one turn. It ended up paying off as I'm able to 2-hit KO the Mismagius with the crunch coming from the Krooko-Dile as well as the Gyro Ball coming from the Bronze Arm. In comes this thing, the Victini. So I'm going straight out to my loading, man. I was like, I don't even care if you U-turn right here and right now, man. I just need something to take V-Creates because judging from my team preview, I'm thinking that, alright, he might bring this thing in because it's Scarfed. And I didn't even remember at the time. See, man, I have my dirt-to-dirt moments, man, because Jolly Scarfed outspeeds Jolly Scarfed what's this thing called? Victini. Jolly Scarfed Krookodiile outspeeds it, and I'm like, I didn't even freaking remember that, so I could just like stayed in with my +1 Moxie Crunch and got the KO, but been by +2, I would have been good, but I wasn't thinking about all that, but alright, whatever. I decided to go for the Toxic, I guess predicting the switch since he's locked on to the V-Create, I would imagine. So I went out straight into Bronze. I'm supposed to go out to Krookodiile because he went for the Hidden Power Ice, which is nice. I thought it was either Grass, Ice, or something like that. I knew Bronze would be able to take it, man. Thunderbolt was way too obvious for Volt Switch or something like that. So I went into Bronze just to scout to see what he would do, kind of scout to see what kind of player he is, or something like that. So he goes straight onto Swampert, which is nice because I have Toxic on this Bronze as well. I was contemplating whether I should go for the Earthquake or not because even though despite me being a burn, some residual damage coming from an Earthquake on Bronze to like Victini and or Raikou, things like that would be sufficient for later on when I want to finish things off like Krooko-Dile or something like that. If I'm not locked onto Earthquake and want to get a sure shot one-hit KO on things to get a Moxie boost get going, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, he's gonna go for the Self Rock. I thought he might go for the Raw and or Double Switch, so I just was, it was predictable. Still kind of, scouting out to see what kind of player he is. And then straight after, he goes up into Heracross, which is nice. I'm not gonna go for the Leaf Storm. Instead, I go for the Sludge Bomb, and I'm like, yes, man, I get some hefty damage on that thing. Praying that this thing is in Choice Scarf because the only thing that I have to take a Heracross's stab attacks is Heracross itself. That is bad, but it turns out that it's Toxic Orb, which means that my Life Orb Timid set would outspeed. So who does that? People run special defensive, so that's kind of why he stayed in as opposed to, going for something else. So I figured that since last time I switched straight out into my Lodic, that he would probably go for the U-turn. I went for a secondary Sludge Bomb, but it turns out he goes straight for the V-Create, so that's nice. I'm still thinking that my Jolly Krookodile is slower. So I'm like, okay, every time I see Victini switch in, I gotta switch out into something, I guess sack it or let it take damage, and then afterwards bring in Krookodiile to get the short shot one-hit KO. I'm just gonna go for the Earthquake. This guy has Raikou and things like that. Get some damage on the Swampert. I know it won't be able to 2-hit KO despite it being poison and all that other jazz. So I'm just gonna switch out, save my Krookodiile for another time, and then just go out to my Lodic or something like that. I think he might probably go for the Earthquake because Waterfall is a little bit too obvious. So Superpower actually. I guess Superpower would do neutral damage to whatever I might switch out into. That was actually a smart play. I wouldn't even contemplate. You see what I was saying? I was saying Waterfall and Earthquake. And Superpower just like kind of blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, but it's not enough to like anything to me, like do much to anything to me, especially after -1 from the initial superpower. So I'm just gonna be able to get off the recovery. He roars out, which is nice, so I'm able to get some nice added plus power to my HP before switching out to my Mew. And then in comes Mew, and people keep saying, it keeps effing itself with its tail. Now I never really even paid attention to it. But yeah, man, I don't know what Game Freak was thinking. I'm not really one to make, you know, perverted jokes or whatever like that, but that's kind of disturbing. I'm sorry, man. I can't. So he gets a critical hit with the Scald, right? Which would normally burn me because every time an opponent gets a critical hit with Scald, it just has some uncanny, preternatural ability to burn at the same Scald. You know, it's just crazy. So anyway, in comes the Victini. One of the last times it could switch into, I'm like, alright, let me just save my Mew for later on, go on to my Lodic, thinking that he might go for the V-Create, now since that this is probably one of the last chances that he could switch in. So I go for my Lodic, knowing for what he was going to go for a Fire move. So he surprises me with the Flare Blitz, which means that his speed won't decrease. Keep in mind, I'm still thinking that my Krookodile is slower. So I'm like, alright, I can't switch that thing in because it doesn't have a speed drop like V-Create would. But you know, this is all good. The critical hit was actually beneficial towards my train of thinking, because I was thinking like I don't have anything on my team that can outspeed it, man. So I was thinking like I was completely done for. In comes Heracross. My choice Scarf Heracross is going to be able to live an extra sensory. That kind of surprised me a little bit. Going to be able to get off the close combat on that Raikou, take it out, and out is the Rhydon or Rhyperior he has left over. I think that's his last Pokemon. I'm supposed to switching out and saving my Heracross for later on. That'll be kind of pointless because he could probably go for Rock Polish and then, you know, proceed to doing some hefty damage onto me or something like that. So I don't want him to get a free Rock Polish off. It doesn't necessarily make any sense switching out. Knowing full well that he has Solid Rock, so I know that because he has Solid Rock, he won't be able to one-hit KO, and plus Rhyperior has high defenses. So he's just gonna attack me, go straight on after -2 drops with the what is that thing called? With the close combat. I'm forgetting all my moves. See? That's what happens when you live a double life, man. You forget everything about every other life or whatever like that. But anyway, I'm just gonna be able to finish this thing off with the Earthquake. That was a great game. Viewers, do not forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Definitely had a lot of fun, and peace. What you doing?